Hello class 12. In this video I am going to discuss with you another very important topic of chemical kinetics, that is the factors affecting the rate of reaction. In the last video I explained you the numericals related to average and the instantaneous rate of reaction, and I hope you people have practiced those numericals on your own, and also the numericals related to those topics related to the average rate and instantaneous rate from your book also. And please, in case of any doubt, post your messages to me so that I can discuss your doubts with you. Okay children, so moving on to the first factor that affects the rate of reaction. The first factor is the nature of the reactant. Now, nature of the reactant means the reactant is ionic or molecular in the first place. Then the reactants are homogeneous or heterogeneous in the second place. And then what is the stability of the reactant or the product? So we will be discussing now these three statements. So nature of the reactant in the first place is ionic or molecular. So children, ionic reactants and molecular reactants I discussed with you in my video lecture 1, if you remember, in the introductory session. As I told you, ionic reactants, they undergo immediate dissociation. The moment the ions come in contact with each other, they start reacting to form the product. I took an example of precipitation reaction in which NaNO3 reacted with NaCl reacted with AgNO3 to produce the precipitate of AgCl and NaNO3 as the byproduct. So you can again write down the reaction to find out the ions produced. So all the ionic reactions or the reactions that include ionic compounds, they are very quick reactions. They occur within microseconds, whereas the molecular reactions like the formation of ammonia, the molecular reactions involves the covalent compounds, and covalent compounds include the covalent bonds. Since the bonding is there, it will need some rearrangement of bonds which will take some more time in comparison to ionic reactants. So obviously the rate of reaction of ionic reactant is much more than that of molecular reactants. Now coming to homogeneous. Homogeneous means the reactants are and the products are in the same phase, or all the reactants, since we are talking about reactants here, they are in the same phase. Either you have taken gaseous reactants or solid reactants or liquid reactants, that means their phase is same. So as you know that when there is likeness, when they are of the same nature, their reactivity increases. So when the reactants are homogeneous in nature, their reactivity, their rate of reaction is quicker in comparison to heterogeneous reactants. Okay, so homogeneous, you can consider this N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. As you can see here, all the reactants are in the same phase. Okay, so whenever you see that this is also gaseous, this is also gaseous, and the product is also gaseous. So when you have reactants in the same phase, the rate of reaction is comparatively more if you compare it to the heterogeneous reactants. Now coming to the third point, that is stability of the product, or you can say rate of reaction is directly proportional to the stability of product, or it is inversely proportional to the stability of reactant. As you know, nature has a tendency to move towards stability. So if the reactants are unstable, they'll tend to move towards product side where they will acquire more stability. So rate of reaction will depend upon the stability of the product and the unstability of the reactant. So as the stability of the product increases, the rate of reaction increases, and lesser stable are the reactants, the more will be the rate of reaction. So I hope it is clear. I can explain you this with the help of an organic reaction. If you remember this, CH3COOH. If it is dissociating to produce CH3COO minus plus H plus, this is acetic acid, and another case you have HCOH, which is dissociating to give HCOO minus plus H plus. Now you have to compare towards which side the products are more stable. So if you remember, I told you in class 11's lecture, any factor which will make this negative charge more stable will, or the appearance of this negative charge, if it will go down, the stability of this product will increase. Since you know CH3 is a plus I group, it will release the electron towards this carbon. As a result, the overall appearance of this negative charge over the O will increase. So this is less stable. Whereas H in comparison to methyl group has less plus I effect. So this is more stable in comparison to this. So this reaction will occur at a faster rate in comparison to this dissociation. Even if you have not understood this example, children, please don't worry, because we will be taking up these examples again in organic chemistry. But since this is a part of class 11, I expect that you must have done it in class 11. But don't worry if you are not able to recall the concept. Now moving on to the next part, that is our next factor, that is physical state of the reactant. Obviously the gases will react at a faster rate than the liquid and the solid, because the rate of interaction in gases is much more. The more is the interaction between the reactants, the more will be the rate of reaction, because rate of reaction depends upon collision. It is directly proportional to the frequency of collision of the reactant. Please remember this. The more is the frequency of the collision of the reactant, the more will be the rate of reaction. So gases, being free in nature, will react at a faster rate in comparison to liquid. Whereas solid, they are tightly packed, so the rate of diffusion or the rate of interaction among the solid reactants will be the least. So I hope it is clear. Now coming to the third point, that is surface area of the reactant. The rate of reaction, children, also depends on the exposure of the surface. The more is the surface area, the more will be the rate of reaction. It is directly proportional. Now how to make you understand this? If I say you have a cup of tea, okay, or I am taking 2 cups of tea here. Now if suppose to 1 cup you have added sugar cube and to another you have added sugar powder, where will you find the sugar is going to dissolve at a faster rate? Obviously in this cup in comparison to this. Why? Because here we have small pieces of the same cube, and since when you divide this cube into small pieces, what happens? The surface area increases, and when surface area increases, the rate of reaction also increases, so the rate of dissolution will also increase. So more is the surface area, more is the area exposed, more will be the rate of reaction. If you remember, in many reactions, in fact in Haber's process, which is one of the common reaction of the manufacture of ammonia, where N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. This is a very common reaction. Okay, in this reaction finely divided iron is used as a catalyst. Finely divided iron. So why are we dividing iron to use here? Why are we not using the whole block of iron? Just to increase the surface area. When the surface area increases, what happens? The rate of reaction increases. There are more free sites for the reactant to react. So as the surface area increases, the rate of reaction increases. And again I'm telling you, if you are breaking down the solid into small pieces, there will be more surface area which will be exposed. Okay, and so the rate of reaction will increase. Since in a cube you can see there are 4 surfaces, but when you divide it into small pieces, what happens? The inner surface area will also get exposed, so the total surface area will increase. Now coming to the intensity of the light. Intensity of light, this factor plays role only in case of photosensitive reactions or photochemical reactions. Otherwise, the intensity of light has no role. Intensity of light increases, the number of photons increases, so the rate of reaction increases. Here I have taken a simple example of photochemical reaction, that is H2 plus Cl2 gives 2HCl. This reaction is governed by the presence of light. So obviously, if you will increase the intensity of light, the rate of this reaction will increase. So these are the 4 factors. Now moving on to the 5th factor, that is catalyst. Now what is a catalyst, children? A catalyst is a substance, it is a chemical substance which alters the rate of reaction. It can decrease also and it can increase also the rate of reaction. But here we will consider only the catalyst which increases the rate of reaction, that is positive catalyst. So you can see a graph here. First of all, let me explain you the graph. Whenever the conversion of a reactant into product occurs, it is not a simple pathway. Direct conversion doesn't occur. There is some energy transition. That is, the reactant has to cross this barrier to reach to this product side. Okay, the higher is this barrier, this mountain, the more difficult or the feasibility of the reaction will be low or the rate of reaction will be low. But if this barrier is reduced somehow, that is some alternate pathway is provided to it, then the rate of reaction will increase. Now here comes the function of the catalyst. What does the catalyst do? A catalyst provides an alternate pathway. As you can see here, a catalyst provides an alternate pathway to the reactant to get converted into product, and this alternate pathway has a lesser energy. Okay, so you need to cross, or you need to have very little energy to cross this barrier and convert into product. So this barrier is without catalyst, which is comparatively high, and this barrier is in the presence of a catalyst. So catalyst is providing an alternate or easier pathway to the reactant to get converted into product. So, and I have mentioned EA here. EA means activation energy. This EA means activation energy. I'll be discussing about it later on in the chapter also. But in this case, you only need to know how does the catalyst affect the rate of the reaction. The catalyst is providing an alternate pathway to the reactant so as to facilitate the conversion, easy conversion of reactant into product. That is, the energy barrier is reducing, the energy barrier is going down. I hope this much is clear to you. And without the catalyst, as you can see, the activation energy is quite high. So it is reducing the activation energy. So ROR is directly proportional to positive catalyst. If you are using a catalyst in a reaction, the rate of reaction will increase. Whereas in the absence of the reaction, it has to cross such a huge energy barrier. Obviously, the rate of reaction will be low. Now coming to the next, temperature and concentration. Now these two factors are extremely important because rest of the chapter is based on these two factors only, and mostly on this concentration of the reactant. So please pay attention to the 6th and the 7th one. In today's session, in today's video, I'll be just giving an introduction to these two factors, and then in detail we will be talking about these two in the rest of the chapter, because the leftover chapter will be discussed only on these two factors. So how does temperature affect? Obviously temperature, if you think in general, will always increase the rate of reaction. And in general, what happens? On every 10-degree rise in temperature, whether Celsius or Kelvin, on every 10-degree rise in temperature, the rate of reaction increases 2 to 3 times. And this ratio is known as, that is, K1 by K2 is equal to 2 to 3. Now K is reaction constant. I'll be discussing about it later in the chapter. K1 upon K2 is equal to 2 or 3. That means when you are increasing the temperature at least 10 degrees Celsius, the rate of reaction will get twice, and in some cases it may get thrice. So this is what temperature says, though I'm going to discuss this in the next videos in detail also. We have very important topic under this temperature category. Now coming to the concentration of the reactant, I have mentioned few points here just to introduce you to the concentration part. See here, rate of reaction may increase or decrease, or it remains unaffected on increasing the concentration of the reactant. There are three possibilities. It might increase, it might decrease, or it may remain unaffected. There is no effect at all. Second is, rate of reaction may also depend upon the product concentration. It is not always mandatory that it depends upon the concentration of the reactant. It can also depend upon the concentration of the product. Rate of reaction may depend on one or all or none of the reactant concentration. Either it may depend on one, it can depend on all, or none. Okay, so this will be explained in a proper way in the next video lecture. This is just an introduction, because concentration will give rise to another very important topic, that is order of the reaction, on which every year you get a numerical problem in your board examination. For now, only the introduction has been given for these two, 6th and 7th points. So concentration, how does the concentration affect? With increase in the concentration of the reactant, the rate of reaction may increase, decrease, or it may remain unaffected, or it may also depend upon the concentration of the product, or it may also depend on the concentration of 1, 2, 3, or none of the reactant. So there are quite a number of possibilities in case of concentration of reactant. To understand it better, please watch my next video lecture and then follow the notes also. So in today's session, we discussed the factors affecting the rate of the reaction. We discussed the first factor, that is the nature of the reactant. Then we discussed about the physical state of the reactant. We discussed about the surface area, intensity. So I have mentioned the order in short also. But the most important factors are, catalyst is also somehow important, because this will also be considered later on in the chapter. But the most important one is concentration and temperature. Please mark these two as very important. We will be dealing with this in the next video lecture. Okay children, thank you so much.